Greetings, Zelda Black Light. We're talking about our leaders, and we got these black power pimping going on in the black community on YouTube. But we got to do this, identify the weak ones among us. It's going to be hard to do because you can't judge a book by just one look. You know, a lot of people talk so smooth, but they don't practice what they preach. And you got to watch the actions. So we're going to get back to exposing black leaders. And also, we're going to lift up those pioneers that was in broadcasting, early broadcasting. And the reason why I picked Tony Brown, because he was nationally known on public broadcasting, and he had a black summit. At that black summit, he had all the leaders. And we're going to do this in parts. And one of the black leaders he had was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we're going to let the video start us off doing the talking. And then I'm going to come in later.
It was 1972, and Black America was in the throes of a cultural catharsis called the Black Revolution. Although revolution may be considered a strong term in today's era of political correctness, back then it symbolized a nationwide awakening among blacks. Black leaders became as visible as they were vocal and caught the ears of a population desperately seeking equality. Now, a quarter of a century and thousands of protests later, how do these voices sound? Were they the seeds of progress or just hollow rhetoric? Here's a look at the Black Summit of 1972, Part 1.
Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Mahmoud Hamidi Baraka, Dr. James Chief, Reverend Albert Clay, Congressman Charles Diggs Jr., Mr. Dick Gregory, Miss Dorothy Height, Mr. Roy Ennis, Mr. Vernon Jordan, Dr. John Morcell.
Political power, economic empowerment, quality education, and social consciousness are code words for the progress of Black America that have echoed through the centuries. Black leaders in 1972 came together in an historic live television forum to articulate the issues of that period. And in the words of the famous statesman and abolitionist Frederick Douglass, this discussion will go on. The Black Summit of 1972, Part 2.
Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing today. It's going to take some time for me to get my point across. So, the reason why, if you want to see this thing in its entirety, you can get it on YouTube. Just type in Tony Brown's Black Summit 1972. Now you got a young brother on YouTube, a couple of them, but this one stands out in particularly because he attacked the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I was around in 1972, and I was there when it first came on, looking at it on TV. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was by phone. He wasn't there in person. And he was the last one to come on. And he checked all of them. He checked all of them. See, they was up there arguing amongst themselves in 72, just like they doing now. Just like the brothers is doing now, arguing amongst themselves. See, black power politically is a money maker. See, the Caucasian has wisely monetized everything in the system. Is monetized, and all the money goes back to him, whether it's black market money, you know, don't matter. So you got to look outside the box if you want to be in control. Now, if you just want to be the type of person that goes along to get along, to go along and all like that, then you don't even need to be listening, because you're not going to be in the struggle. You're not going to do nothing but sit back, be on the sidelines. You're not going to even give a thought about it, you know, because you know that you're hurting, but you're not of the type to speak up for yourself. Very few people speak up for themselves. If the government cheats them, they're not going to speak up for themselves. But let a brother down the street steal a penny from him, they'll kill him over that penny. And the thing about it, the penny don't mean nothing really, because when you go to church, the preacher tell you you're a child of God, right? And God didn't make no junk. But then on the other hand, he talks about prosperity, being blessed. He already blessed us when he gave us air, when he gave us food out the ground, shelter. You know, all you gotta do is go and chop a tree down and start building. But what happened was, the Caucasian took the place of God. He took over the ownership of the trees, of the air, of the water, of the land, and made you pay him for his usage. And so he created some money, but he took the gold and the silver and hid it among himself, and gave you in his place paper, and made that paper more valuable than gold and silver, more valuable than a life. So brothers get these jobs with the white man. You see, some of us volunteer working for the white man. We apply for an application to work for the government, whether it's in law enforcement, whether it's in the IRS or whatever, it don't matter. And the government employs over 50% of the population. And some of us involuntary, well, most of us, all of us involuntary, whether we want to or not, we work for the government. How's that? We pay taxes. When you study that Constitution was trying to get away, Washington and Jefferson were trying to get away from England from paying taxes. But they know it had to be some kind of taxes, so they made a direct tax. And I ain't got time to go into the explanation of that, but we pay taxes on everything now. Even some things they don't call it a tax. However, we're going to come back. So stay glued to the tube. Keep on listening and learning.